Hello everyone, I'm Brianna and I will be talking about the danger of theocracy and using The Handmaid's Tale to illustrate that. And my thesis is that The Handmaid's Tale shows that while a theocratic government may have some advantages, it has mostly negative results. The government of the Republic of Gilead in the story, it does provide advantages, but for the most part, it's disadvantages. They far outnumber the positives. And the novel shows both of the effects on the people in Gilead. And my first observation is that violence among citizens is non-existent in the Republic of Gilead because of the law. And I used a quote from the novel to support the observation. "Now we walk along the same street in red pairs, and no man shouts obscenities at us, speaks to us, touches us, no one whistles." And that is just Offred kind of reflecting on how women are allowed to go out in public and not be attacked or bothered. And that's one advantage, and I think it's the biggest advantage that the women have. And my second observation is that theocracy takes away most freedoms that people should be able to have throughout life. And this is the first negative result of the theocratic government, especially the one in The Handmaid's Tale. The people of Gilead, mostly the women, have next to no freedom. Songs like Amazing Grace are banned because they promote freedom. Such songs are not sung anymore in public, especially the ones that use words like free. They are considered too dangerous. But the songs aren't dangerous for the citizens, they're dangerous for the government because the people of Gilead will revolt. And so in a theocracy, people have very limited freedoms because the word of their God or the higher power is law. And the more freedoms that citizens have, then the less power the government has over them. My third observation is that theocracy leaves room for a lot of discrimination towards a certain group of people. And in the case of The Handmaid's Tale, it's the women. And I used a quote from an article by David Code. "In this ultra-conservative neo-Christian regime, all women are slaves of the system. Anatomy is destiny." The women in the novel are treated as objects and not human beings. They're not expected to have personalities or express their thoughts, and they can't do anything other than what they're told to do, pretty much, especially the handmaids. And another quote that I used is from the book, whenever the doctor uses the word sterile. "I almost gasped. He said a forbidden word, sterile. There is no such thing as a sterile man anymore, not officially. There are only women who are fruitful and women who are barren. That's the law." Women are used only for childbirth in Gilead, and if they are not able to have children, then they're sentenced to death. And people know there's a possibility that a man is sterile, but the fact is ignored under the new law. And women are given a very limited amount of time to conceive a child with a man who is most likely unable to reproduce. And my last observation is that this type of government typically uses violence to keep control over its citizens. And my support for this is from an article by Shirley Newman. Her Gileadian government maintains its power by means of surveillance, suppression of information, re-education centers, and totalitarian violence. The people of Gilead are threatened into behaving a certain way. They're carefully watched, and even if a minor crime is committed, they're normally sentenced to death. And hangings are public, and the bodies are kept on the wall for the people to see, and it scares them into behaving the way the government wants them to. And to conclude, I have a quote from Robert Reich. "We do not want to live in a theocracy. We should maintain that barrier, and government has no business telling someone what they ought to believe in or how they should conduct their private lives." And I think Margaret Atwood uses her novel to kind of illustrate that we don't want